Okay, so we'll take a moment. We're going to review everything that we've just covered as far as the SEO changes that have come into play that have made particularly large changes for you in your SEO strategy and how you need to be approaching that in the coming year, 2, 3. So social signals are now a huge factor in search engine ranking. A social signal could include things like the number of times that a link was shared on Twitter or Facebook. Author quality also counts. Author quality means the weight of that particular tweeter or that particular Facebook fan page, how much other folks engage with that person. So for example, the Twitter user who has 1,000 fans and follows 2,000 people probably does not have as much weight as the Twitter person who follows 100 people and has 10,000 fans, for example. So this is a ranking factor that you can't spam because of that author authority having weight in the algorithm. The sharing from established and reputable accounts is the only kind of sharing that counts with this social signals change in ranking. The only thing that's going to encourage this kind of sharing with real accounts and people who have weight on Twitter or have weight on Facebook is having content on your site that people link and actually want to tell other folks about. I mean, no shortcuts. Nobody's going to share something that's no good, period. So we also talked about the massive volume of searches that are considered the long tail key phrases. It's typically easier to rank for these kinds of key phrases too. However, we sometimes overlook them when publishing content to our sites because these key phrases don't get as much traffic individually, right? Now, we do know that the number of long tail searches is oftentimes higher than the number of searches for the main keyword phrase in many, many markets. So the long tail is still absolutely worth going after. Now, after completing this course, you'll have a full strategy for easily creating content around the long tail keyword phrases so that you can pick up that kind of traffic. Next, we covered how important it is for your site to have multimedia content. So multimedia content is published in the Google Universal Search results that we can see here. It includes video, images, news, books, maps, tweets, tweets and Twitters, and all that kind of good stuff. So you need it to encourage your own stuff to appear in the Google Universal listings. But creating multimedia content is also a refreshing break from writing blog posts, don't you think? So it lends for variety in that way as well. Now, multimedia content is also a really important contributor to keeping site visitors on your site engaged with your content. Any well-produced content, whether it's a blog post, video, whatever, will keep your users interested in what you have to say. So while there's still no official statement from Google saying that they're using things like search result click-through ratings or bounce rates as negative ranking factors, we do know that Bing is. And the fact is that keeping a visitor on your site longer and having them interested in your content will only make your site perform better, right? Whether it be because these kinds of engagement factors contribute to the ranking algorithms, or it's because a well-engaged reader is often a return visitor or someone who shares your site with their friends, like we talked about as far as the social sharing becoming a factor. So use multimedia, keep your visitors entertained and informed. We know that with the Google Caffeine update, Google gained the ability to index, rank, and display your new content much faster than ever before. It used to take about 2 weeks for new content to show up in the search engine results pages, and now new content can show up in just minutes. Now, because of the caffeine update and the emphasis Google put on freshness in their search engine results pages, having recent and new content on your site will help you rank higher in the search results pages. Google believes that searchers want more recent content, so you have got to provide it. Lastly, and I put this section last because of its massive, massive impact, Google's Farmer update, which they're calling Panda, is seeking to reduce not only the autoblog duplicate content, but also just the plain old low quality content. And with over 10% of search results affected, even big time sites like Easy Articles and Hub Pages took a massive hit in their traffic, not to mention the countless smaller webmasters. So analysis of the farmer algorithm change indicates that ranking isn't just about having content, even if it's original, and building links anymore. Google wants to provide searchers with high quality content, content that engages visitors, like we talked about, multimedia content, content that they want to share with their peers, like we talked about in the first part with the social sharing, content that's valuable, content that answers their questions, content that is fresh and new, like we talked about with the Google caffeine thing and how recent content is important, right? So rehash, low quality SEO copywriting type of content just isn't going to be effective anymore. But having top-notch, shareable, and fresh content doesn't, like I said, mean that you have to be a slave to your keyboard every day, just tapping things out over, coffee and, with your eyes held open like you're in Clockwork Orange. So throughout the rest of the course, you're going to learn how to shape the kind of content that Google really, really wants to see. That same kind of content is the kind of content that your site visitors want to see. We're no longer trying to write for the search engines and yet somehow engage our readers. We're no longer trying to do SEO copywriting and yet somehow make that sell something to readers. The two are becoming one, and what it's about is that great, great content. And that's the same kind of content that's going to help you become the market leader in your niche. So I'll see you in the next video.